Harare, former Zimbabwe Finance Minister Ignatius Chombo, among those detained by the military before Robert Mugabe resigned as president, was charged on Saturday with corruption, including trying to defraud the central bank in 2004. The court appearance was the first time Mr. Chombo had been seen in public since being detained after the military seized power in Operation Restore Legacy, which it said was meant to remove the criminals around Mugabe. Former Zimbabwe Finance Minister Ignatius Chombo has been charged with 3 counts of corruption in offences that took place more than a decade ago. The U.S. Navy identified 3 sailors who are still missing after their transport plane crashed in the Philippine Sea on Wednesday. At least 31 migrants died after their boat sank off Libya's western coast, and more than 300 were rescued in several operations by the Libyan Coast Guard. Pakistani police fought running battles with stone-throwing Islamist activists as they tried to clear a sit-in by religious hardliners who have blocked the main routes into Islamabad for more than 2 weeks. Flights were disrupted when Balas Mount Agug volcano erupted for the second time in a week. Mourners paid their respects at the funerals for the hundreds of worshippers killed at a mosque in Egypt. South Africa's Supreme Court has increased Oscar Pistorius' murder sentence to 13 years and 5 months after the state argued the original punishment for killing his girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp, was shockingly lenient. Former Zimbabwe Finance Minister Ignatius Chombo has been charged with 3 counts of corruption in offences that took place more than a decade ago. Mr. Chombo, a Mugabe ally who had been promoted to finance minister in October, told the court that he was kept blindfolded for 9 days after being arrested at his home on November the 15th. His lawyer has said he was beaten in detention, although Mr. Chombo made no mention of that and had no injuries visible as he stood before magistrates in Harare. Several members of a group allied to Mugabe and his wife Grace were detained and expelled from the ruling party, including Mr. Chombo, the ousted head of the influential ZANU-PF Youth League Kudzai Shipiga, and a deposed leader in the party's youth wing, Innocent Hamadashid. Some supporters of the new president, Emerson Mnangagwa, have been calling for unspecified action against the so-called G40 group that backed Mugabe and his wife. Mr. Chombo, Mr. Shipiga and Mr. Hamadashid were allied to the G40. Before his inauguration, Mr. Mnangagwa on Thursday urged citizens not to undertake any form of vengeful retribution. Get the latest news and updates emailed straight to your inbox. By submitting your email, you are agreeing to Fairfax Media's terms and conditions and privacy policy. The state prosecutor said Mr. Chombo was charged 3 counts of corruption, including attempting to defraud the Zimbabwean Central Bank in 2004, when he was local government minister. He was not asked to enter a plea by the state. Mr. Chombo showed no emotion while the charges were read.